I am Pьер Lerish, Professor Pьer Lerish, who works especially on Hellenism in Orient. And in this frame, I work in Syria and also in Uzbekistan, two regions which are very rich of remains of Greek and Hellenistic civilization in contact with Oriental tradition and civilization. I'm here to speak about the southern part of Uzbekistan, which is especially the Bactria and also Sogdiana. In the antiquity, all these regions opened to civilization since the Stone Age. And in the Bronze Age, there are many archaeological sites who show that Uzbekistan was member of the Neolithic and Bronze Age development of civilization. But for me, the most important moment I want to speak is the classical period. That means the 3-4 last century before our era and the 2 and 3 century after our era. Why this moment is very important? It's because we have a historian who wrote about these regions. The first event is the war between Achaemenid Empire and Iskandar Macedon. And we have many others who wrote about the war during the 3 years war between not Achaemenid army, but Bactrian and Sogdian people against the conquest by Iskandar. And it shows that the people of these regions were very conscious of their autonomy, of their pride and national feeling, and that they didn't want to be submitted to a foreign power. Alexander was in many difficulties here, and sometimes he was wounded also, we know, and sometimes he was afraid by such a resistance, and especially with a man against a man like Spitamenes, who is noble from this region, who fought 2 years against Alexander and finally was killed. But it's also the region where Alexander met his wife, Roxana, the first wife of Alexander. And this is also a very interesting fact that he wanted to join Hellenistic civilization, Greek civilization, and Bactrian and Sogdian civilization. After this period, Bactria and Sogdiana, that means the south part of Uzbekistan, were built as kingdoms. And Bactria, especially Bactria, concerned the Surkhandarya Valley and also the north of Afghanistan, around the city of Balkh, the modern city of Balkh. And this period was a period of founding cities and development of the region in the frame of the Greek civilization. And it's very interesting that We dug, many sites were dug in this region, and we have actually approximately 10 sites which show that there were very important buildings, fortifications, and Greek population and Bactrian and Sogdian population mixed in this town. And we know this also through another author who came in the region as an envoy from the Chinese emperor. In the end of the 2nd century, the name of this ambassador was Chang Qian. And when he came back in China, Chang Qian wrote a report which is now preserved in the sources of history of China. And Chang Qian found in this region very, very interesting aspects of civilization, and the first of the things about he writes is the big number of towns he found in this region. Towns in Sogdiana, but mainly in Bactria. And these towns were occupied by a mixed population, and he writes that this population spoke a language which was not Central Asian language and which was common to Sogdiana and Bactria. That means the Greek language. And also he writes about the bizarre way of writing of the people in this region. They don't wrote like Chinese vertically on vegetal paper, but on leather, and they wrote horizontally. And also that means it's the Greek. And also he spoke about the coins with the head, the profile of the king. And this is also a very different thing with China. But also, what is interesting, he was amazed by the presence of grapes, and very beautiful grapes, which gave a very good wine. A wine that was possible to keep long years. That means he discovered the Greek civilization in Central Asia. And this happened at the end of the 2nd century before. But the people he met in this region were not the Greek power, but they were under the power of the Yuezhi. Yuezhi, it's a tribe who came from the frontiers of North China and which were expelled by another tribe which is Yangnu, and the Yuezhi came through the Xinjiang to Bactria, and there they founded a kingdom, and a powerful kingdom that gave way to the creation of the Kushan kingdom. And the Kushan kingdom was a big empire which covered not only Central Asia but also north of India. And Bactria in this kingdom was the core of this empire. And it is under the Kushan that the Buddhist civilization was created in this region, and this is the origin of the Gandhara civilization, which is very prestigious period of the Buddhism with beautiful, wonderful statues, sculpture, temples, and for example the colossal statues of Bamyan. And we worked on many of the sites of this period, and we found the remains and the witness of this big, great civilization in Uzbek Bactria and Soviet.